You're listening to Off the Record here on 103.2 Dublin City FM with myself, Heather MacLeod, and Anna Lucy Hughes. That was a track there called Through the Roses from our next guests, the Midnight Phil Eoin Callers, which is a tongue twister to say the least for me. We're joined by one of the members of the duo there, Eoin. So good evening and welcome to the programme.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Not at all. So I believe you're talking to us right now from a converted church building that you just had to run up the steeple.
Yeah.
Well, not literally the steeple, I hope, outside or anything, but
It's the only quiet place in Dublin that I could find was this church to take the phone call. And I'm up very high, so it's better reception.
Exactly, see? Good thinking, as they say. So the Midnight Phil Eoin Callers, can you tell us a bit about the name first? It intrigued me.
Yeah, okay. The name is from the kind of strange drunk call you might get from an old lover. You might get a call around midnight, so that would be a midnight phone call.
Okay.
So myself and Phil thought we should make this, the name of the band, the Midnight Phone Callers. But we thought, how about we just change it to the Midnight Phil Eoin Callers instead.
Ah, I see. So if you say it very quickly, it's almost like phone.
Yeah, so we had more ownership over the fact that we're both in the band, and if we ever broke up, the band would die. We couldn't get replacements. Unless
you found another guy called Phil or another guy called Eoin.
Exactly.
That'd have to be your specifics there, But you guys got together in a band sense, of course, in September 2010, and you've been doing it's described here as wholesome yet offbeat pop music.
Yeah. I think pop music nowadays is not, it's not the way it used to be, like it was maybe in the 80s or the 90s. There's a lot of sexual connotations in pop music these days. So we wanted to do something that's a bit more wholesome, but also a bit more offbeat and not limited to a particular genre. So our first album, we kind of just dabbled in a lot of different styles of music. And now we're working on a second album at the minute, which is a bit more focused on commercial pop, but the lyrics are a lot more strange than what you'd probably expect to hear.
And do you think that's a bad thing, I suppose, or whatever nowadays, that it has become, I suppose, a lot of, like you say, a lot of the music's become a lot more sexualised. Even the way they dress and everything now is a lot more skimpy, as it were, in the pop genre.
Exactly. Like, an example might be Rihanna or something singing about, am I okay to say riding fellas online?
Yeah, it was after 9 o'clock, so
okay.
We're okay.
And then I'm there on the street and I see like a 6-year-old singing these songs. Come on, rude boy, giddy up, ride me or something. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of disgusting. So what we're doing is we're trying to bring back the wholesome nature of pop, in a way that isn't preaching, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Now we're going to play one of your tracks once we're finished here, another one called Digital Lady. Now the title of that I might not have thought would be totally wholesome, but tell us a bit about that.
Okay, well the lyrics are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
As we live in the digital age right now, a lot of people are meeting people online. So this song, Digital Lady, is about a girl who you talk to online, and basically you're waiting for her to come online so you can have a chat.
Right,
I think that's very, very innocent.
Okay, so that kind of digital lady's okay. There's other kind of digital ladies that we wouldn't want to be singing about, But you had an article, there's been a bit of media interest around you anyway. There's an article in the Carlow People about a song you'd done for Richie Kavanagh.
Yeah.
You were telling me did a song around 10 years ago.
Yeah, he did a song called Ain Fuckle Ga, which was banned in the UK because, can I say that word?
What?
The F word?
Well, we can't say the F word, but because they don't speak Irish, so
exactly. So they saw it as a curse word.
Yeah.
But anyway, he did that song. It's probably more than 10 years ago now. That's what he was famous for. I'm sure a lot of listeners will know who Richie Kavanagh is. He's big. He's very famous around the country as a comedic singer, kind of folk, traditional Irish style.
Yeah.
So myself and Phil, when we were writing this song, like we had the instrumentation all down, the song structure done, and then when it came to the lyrics, I felt it should be a love song, but I didn't really feel it should be a typical love song.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of thinking, who is kind of out of the limelight now at the minute, who could probably do with a burst of energy, and we could help get them back in the papers. So we just simultaneously at the exact same time thought of Richie Kavanagh.
Mm-hmm.
So we just started to write the song, and the song wrote itself in the opening line.
And I was reading from their article as well that it was written from a female point of view. Was that how did two guys manage to write from a female point of view?
Well, with any of our songs, we put ourselves into different positions of points of view.
Yeah.
With the Richie Kavanagh song, we just thought, right, okay, if I'm a woman and I'm a super fan of Richie Kavanagh, what would I sing to him?
Mm-hmm.
So we then just started writing the lyrics from a female point of view, and you can kind of tell that by one of the lines is, I wake up and I put on my makeup, and that's the only giveaway that we're actually singing from a female point of view.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
and
you have to really read in between the lines to make it out.
To make it out. Well, there's some guys nowadays that enjoy their makeup wearing as well, so you might not even know.
I know, but at the same time, you probably wouldn't be into Richie. He's not an attractive man. But he's an okay man.
You're really selling him well here.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan. I own one of his DVDs. I still have to watch it though. Yeah, I like him.
Good stuff. And your the film they describe as a throwback to the sort of music videos made popular by MTV in white suits and smoke machines, it says.
Yeah.
Was that kind of in a serious vein, or were you doing it for a bit of a laugh,
Well, it was kind of serious in that we wanted it to be viewed, and it's more of a piece of art than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted everything to be as close to an 80s kind of music video as we could get.
Yeah.
So, rented out a studio, got smoke machines, we tried to make it as authentic as we could, and then I edited it all together and threw it up online.
And who would be your, I don't know if heroes is the right word, but who would you have looked up to perhaps in the 80s doing this kind of music that would have inspired you to do what you're doing now?
I don't know if you've ever heard of Johnny Gill. He's a black R&B singer. He's more so from the early 90s.
Right.
Listening to all of his stuff, the track Richie Kavanagh is very reminiscent of his style. So he would have been a big player. And then I would have been really into pop music. I would have only discovered the 80s music as maybe a 10-year-old while I was in the 90s. Like, I'm 25 now. But I would have been into Culture Club and Aha and Rick Astley, the usual kind of top of the hits pop stars.
You're trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I don't think we're trying. I think we have brought it back.
You have brought it back, of course. That's what I should have said.
Better.
Yeah, that's better. But you guys, what's the plan then? I know you're wanting to go global, I think, aren't you?
Well, that's what we're looking to do. The plan long term is to start doing tours and playing around the country and all that. Short term, we have a new album which is going to be coming out in September or October. That's called Tigers in Auto-Tune. So we're about 80, maybe 90% finished production on that album. And as well as that, we've got a gig coming up in 2 weeks. It's on August the 15th in the Village. So for us, this year it's been kind of crazy. Like, we originally, when we started this band, we weren't actually thinking of playing live gigs until the music video got out and the album was released online. So a friend of mine who runs a blog was just saying, "Here, do you guys want to play live?"
Mm-hmm.
And myself and Phil were just talking to each other, and we were like, "Well, we wrote all this stuff as a duo, and if we were to play live, we'd need to get another guitar player, a drummer, someone else on keyboards, and it would have been crazy." So we said we'd do the gig anyway as a two-piece. So we just figured it out how to play it with a laptop, bass, and electric guitar. So it originally started as just a recording project, and now since playing the live gigs, we've gotten a really good reception. So now we're just trying to push as many gigs as we can play live and just get the name out there, you know.
And I mean, you've done an awful lot, considering the fact it's less than a year, you know.
Yeah. Like we released our first album on Mother's Day, just gone, which was April 3rd. That got a load of downloads, and this was mostly just from word of mouth and friends, just saying, look, download our album. We've been working on it for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the album came out, it was like, oh yeah, these guys are different. They're doing something that I haven't really heard been done in Dublin anyway.
Yeah.
So since then, we've just been hungry for gigs, hungry for fame, and hungry for world domination.
And you're making great steps to get there. Now, what would be a good way to find out more about you online, or check out if you've got gigs coming up and that kind of thing?
Okay, well, if you just go to it's google.com,
okay,
and you can type in The Midnight Phil Eoin Callers. That's TheMidnight spacebar PHIL space EOIN space CALLERS.
Okay.
Or you can go to themidnightphiloncallers.com, okay, and that's our official page, which we update regularly with all our goings on, sneak peeks, behind, backstage, and all the rest, and special video clips.
Yeah, and again, actually, like the band we had earlier on this evening, you've picked a good name there in terms of it's not going to take a lot of GOOGLING.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really need to Google it.
To find you, yeah.
The name is very easy to remember. I think if anyone ever, people who I'm introduced to on a night out, I'll say the name of my band's The Midnight Phil on Callers, and then I'll check to see how many hits we got, and straight away I can say that person remembered the name straight off. They didn't need, any prompts from Google.
Yeah. Very good. Well, look, thanks for joining us, Eoin of the Midnight Phil Eoin Callers.
Well,
and
thank you very much.
No problem
it's
at all.
been a pleasure to talk to you.
You too. And we're going to take another track of yours now that we mentioned there in the interview, called Digital Lady. So I'm going to let this speak for itself, and hopefully maybe talk to you again when the album comes out.
Great. Thank you very much, Heather.